Hi, I'm Ben. In our story, The Rangers of Marriage by Adichie, the main character, Afadile, is currently working to become a doctor in America. He requests an arranged marriage with a light-skinned woman from Nigeria. The woman from the arranged marriage, named Chinaza, is then flown out to meet her new husband in New York. At first, things were awkward. They didn't really share romantic feelings for each other, which was imminent on their first night sleeping together. It became apparent rather quickly that Afadile wanted Chinaza to become more assimilated to American culture. However, Chinaza was hesitant in abandoning her roots and culture. When Afadile wasn't around, she would continue to speak Igbo to herself and would still cook traditional Nigerian dishes at home. Then one day, she met her neighbor Nia, and Nia provided her an outlet to be herself and not to be forced to do things that she wasn't comfortable with. Afadile viewed Nia as a bad influence on Chinaza and didn't like the fact that they were spending too much time together. As her encounters with Nia begin to increase more and more, Chinaza then realizes that she isn't happy with the way her life is now, and threatens to walk out on Afadile. When she does, Nia was there to support her decision, but Chinaza quickly realizes that she has nothing without Afadile, and ends up going back to him. Hi, today we're playing a game show called Happily Never After. I recently moved here to America to become a doctor, and I'm looking for a new wife. I'm actually wanting to decide between a wife from Nigeria, and today I'm going to ask them certain questions on whether or not they agree on my viewpoints, and I will choose a winner at the end. And here's our two contestants, Kendall and Keegan.
Hi, I'm Keegan. I'm from Nigeria and I'm really excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Kendall and I'm also from Nigeria. And I'm here because my parents entered me into this contest because they think it's a blessing to have an opportunity to be married to an American doctor.
Question 1. For our first night together, would you fulfill your wifely duties in bed with me, or would you be more reserved and against any romantic encounters?
I will fulfill all my duties that you expect of me as your new wife, even in bed.
It will depend on how I'm feeling in the moment, and if I'm tired and overwhelmed from traveling, then I would prefer not to. I would feel disrespected if you forced that to happen, and I would feel like you were treating me as an animal and not a woman.
I would expect my wife to have the same mindset as Keegan's. Question 2. After coming home from a long shift from the hospital, what kind of food would you have prepared for dinner? Would it be more traditional Igbo food or more American style?
Whatever you would like. I can make pizza, hamburgers, chicken, or any type of American food that you want.
I would cook traditional Igbo food because that is what I know how to cook. I would feel offended if my husband wouldn't want to eat the food of our own culture. One of my favorite traditional dishes to make is coconut rice and pepper soup. It is important to me to be able to cook that kind of food because it's a way for me to be able to hold on to my roots.
I don't want you to be smelling out the entire apartment complex and attracting an unwanted attention with those kind of dishes. We live in America and it's time to start learning how to prepare American dishes. Question 3. Would you be willing to accept an American name, or would you feel more respected if you kept your native name? Keep in mind, Americans don't know how to pronounce traditional Igbo native names.
I'd be willing to accept an American name. I trust your opinion on what you think is the best. If you want me to change my name, then I will do so.
I would not feel comfortable changing my name. I have lived my whole life being called the name, and that is a representation of both who I am and where I come from. And I would prefer to call you by your Nigerian name as well, because that is who I know you as. If you did insist on going by an American name, I would refer to you as my husband.
I would expect you to be more mainstream in American culture, and changing your name is a way that you can accomplish that. Your Nigerian name would only be a restriction from becoming more westernized. Question 4. What language do you speak both in public and at home? Would you be willing to improve your English so that you can eventually use that as a primary language of communication?
I would let go of using the Igbo language both in public and in private, and focus only on improving my knowledge of the English language so that I can become better assimilated to American culture and its ideals.
Since we both speak Ibu, I feel like it would be easiest for the two of us to speak our native language in the confinements of our own home. I would feel trapped if I was forced to speak English, and I wouldn't appreciate you trying to force a new identity on me.
If you want to get anywhere in America, you have to be as mainstream as possible. One of the ways you can accomplish that is by getting more acquainted with the English language and being able to use it in your everyday life. Question 5. If you come to America, are you going to be dependent on me, or are you going to form an independent identity outside of our marriage?
I would rely on you and your income to support our family. I would do my part as being the stay-at-home wife and meeting all your needs.
I would want to be able to contribute in a beneficial way as well. I don't think that I have to be forced to rely on you completely, and I want to be able to make a life for myself outside of our marriage. I would feel very restricted in that there is no meaning in my life if I had to rely on you completely and not do things for myself every once in a while.
I would want a wife that is subjected to my wants and needs. She needs to be able to rely on me and not try to live her own life outside of our marriage, because then it only causes problems.
This game show proves why Afadhel and Chinaza's relationship would have never worked. From the first night that Chinaza arrived in America, it was evident that Afadhel was going to take advantage of her. They had different opinions on what their roles should be inside their marriage. Chinaza refused the process of Americanization, and all Afadhel wanted was someone who was going to assimilate to the American culture. This is ultimately why their marriage was doomed to failure.